Welcome everybody. It's 2 o'clock, so we're going to get officially started. We have 23 users in the room. The way this class works is I usually like to encourage a lot of engagement. But before we get there, I'm jumping ahead. I'm here. My name is Jerome Lewis. I'm your host for today, and I'm here with my lovely co-host Beth Ellen. Beth Ellen, please introduce yourself.
I'm Beth Ellen, the co-host with Jerome, and I'm so looking forward to learning about budgeting in Facebook, a weakness of mine, and I can't wait to learn. Back to you, Jerome.
Thank you, Beth Ellen. So here's what we're going to do today. Today we are going to go over before, like I used to do a lot of demonstrations in my classes, and then I got feedback from the audience and they told me that I was moving a little bit too fast. So what I'm going to try to do today is we're going to try a workshop format, right? However, I'm going to call on and I'm going to rely on the audience to keep this engaging and make it so you can learn something. That being said, I like to encourage and make sure people are participating. I need engagement. So what we're going to do is I'm going to do a screen share. I'm going to do a brief presentation. I'm going to tell you about how our class works, how our structure works, and then we're going to go over a live demonstration and figure out how we can come up with a budget using Facebook, right? We're going to use Facebook, but you can take this across any platform. Right. The thing I've learned is that people have a lot of trouble establishing their business. And if you're going to be taking this seriously and you're going to be running a real estate business, you need to kind of have a budget. You can't just do it, oh, I want one or two leads, or you want to do everything organic. You want to expedite your success. Having a budget is going to help you get there. So today our objective is to help you get there. That being said, we got 26 users in the room. If you are ready to proceed, I need you to type yes in the chat for me. Thank you. And hey, Tatiana. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. We have a few screens here in the classroom, and what I need you to do is I need you to face the biggest screen in the room. It should be the screen all the way to the front. And I'm going to do a screen share, and I'm doing that screen share right now. So again, I like to call on my audience. And I need you to acknowledge that you see what you see on the screen, right? So do me a favor and type, if you can see that big blue window, type yes for me, please. I need at least 50% engagement. Perfect. Thank you all. I appreciate you so much. So I'm excited. It's been a while since I've taught like in this class or demonstrated. So I'm excited about today. Bear with me if I get a little, if I've been given the feedback that I talk fast. So bear with me. I'm going to try to slow down and make sure everybody gets value today and understand how important it is to establish or have a marketing budget for your business. That being said, this is our social media mastermind class. We have this class every Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern time, here in EXP World in the Productivity Center. Who is this guy? This is me. My name is Jerome Lewis. I'm in the Philadelphia area. I am a bit silly, but I'm also serious, and I identify with the millennials, right? I'm a proud millennial. I really love technology, so I call myself a technologist. And one thing I like to share so people can understand me on a more intimate level, right, is that I'm an introvert. So I am an introvert. I do speaking presentations and I speak and I'm not afraid, but I am truly an introvert. If I could just sit home and not talk to people, I absolutely would. But that's not how the world works. We have to talk to people. We got to put ourselves out there, right, to get business. Can't be a secret agent. Furthermore, we talk about the personality, the behavioral assessment a lot here in EXP World. So just so you understand a little bit about me, I'm sharing my DISC behavioral assessment, my designation. I am a high D and a high C. What that means is I am an implementer. You combine those two, high dominance and high compliance, that makes me an implementer. That means I'm very results oriented. So I like to help you get results and I'm very detailed. Next, I am primarily a real estate investor. So I like to buy houses more than I like to sell them. But the things that we learn and the fundamentals are relevant to both industries. Then finally, I'm a real estate instructor. And if you want to learn a little bit more about me, you could always visit my website. That's jeromelewis.com. All right, so let's get into the presentation, right? This is our social media mastermind. Again, we have this class every Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern time. I'm always going to remind you because this is one of my favorite classes. We have a rotating schedule. And by rotating schedule, that means we have a specific topic once per month, right? So the way it works is every first Thursday of the month, we do something around Facebook and Facebook marketing. And usually the instructor, the host, the teacher is me, right? Next, the second week, we typically do Instagram, and the host, the instructor, well, the instructor, we bring in an Instagram expert. I'm still the host for all of these, but we bring in another expert that's in real estate and using these practices and these fundamentals in their business. So the second week is Paula Aponte. The third week, we talk about Google Ads. It says Google Ads here, but we're going even further into Google. So the last few sessions we did specifically Google Ads, and I believe the next session we'll be doing Google My Business and showing you how you can utilize that in your business as a real estate professional. And that class is taught by Kyrie Harper. Fourth week, we do YouTube and video marketing. Jaime Resendez, he comes in and teaches us how to use YouTube and video marketing into our business. And then the week 5 is typically a wild card. So whenever we have a fifth Thursday, we do open questions and answers, or we do some kind of open workshop. That being said, I'm going to lean on our audience. Are you ready to proceed? Type yes if yes, type no if not. I need at least 50% engagement. Thank you all. I really appreciate that. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to tell you how to get the most out of this training, and it requires engagement, right? So these are some tips, right? When I'm doing my presentations, let me pull up the highlighter for you so you can better see this. When I'm doing my presentations, I typically have a slideshow or some kind of companion guide. And this slideshow is like a combination of both, right? So right here, you see it says screenshots. Whenever you see this camera icon, that is an icon, and it indicates you should probably take a screenshot of that particular slide, right? Next, whenever you see this link here, that indicates that it's a link to a resource for you, right? So I learned over the years of teaching that people appreciate the slides, right? So I've started to put links and bonus resources in the slides so people can collect them when they're implementing some of this stuff into their business, right? Furthermore, when you see a link and a camera, that's a video resource. So it's very similar to what you see up here, a link, but I also put video resources in the slides for you. And I'm going to tell you at the end how you can collect the slides. All right, next, I'm just going to reiterate and reemphasize the way you get the best out of anything is to be engaged and be involved. So involve yourself. Don't be afraid to interact and talk with me, talk to your colleagues, right? Be interactive, be engaged. Utilize the chat box. Next, I have a YouTube channel and I share a lot of content there. I'm going to share a link to that in the chat for you, right? I'm posting that link here. And we also now have a Facebook group that was inspired by this class. So I'm going to share that in the chat too. And sometimes we'll get some of these trainings up there, sometimes not. It really depends. And then are we ready to proceed? I need you to type in the chat because I have this letter. I want to read this to you and I want to see who identifies with this letter. So type yes if you're ready to proceed for me, please. I don't see 50%. Oh, there we go. There we go. Got to hold you hostage. So here's what we're going to do, right? You see the title, it says lead generation frustration, right? And I understand this because I've been here before. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read a letter, then I'm going to call on the audience. And I want to know who can relate to this, what you see, right? I'm going to read it out and I'm going to lean on you and I'm going to ask you, can you relate? And if you can relate, this class should help you today, right? So here we go. Dear Jerome, I hope you do not mind my honesty, but at this point, I'm extremely frustrated. I'm looking for some guidance and some insight around lead generation and marketing. I'm trying to run my real estate business and I want to close some deals so I can work towards accomplishing my financial goals. My biggest frustration right now is that I have been investing time and money into my business, but I'm not seeing the results. I am not seeing results that I'm completely happy with. In order for me to close deals, I need leads coming in, prospects and potential clients I can talk to. The thing is, different sources and different people are telling me different things. Who can relate to that? Okay. Okay. Let's continue. Use postcards, cold call, use social media, Instagram, Facebook, use video, organic strategies, paid strategies. I understand I need to invest into my marketing and business, but I'm in a tight spot right now, and I don't know if I really have money to just throw away without some kind of return. This is all so confusing. I just need some clarity. Who is right? What is right? What should I do? Who can relate? Who can't relate? Anybody that can't relate. So I receive messages similar to this all of the time. And taking my feedback from my audience, my students, and other agents, I'm trying to develop and help people get clarity around marketing, around tech, around the frustrations in their business. And our objective today is to help resolve that, right? This came up because I was showing another student and I was like, look, let's get your marketing fixed and you can probably get some leads. And I asked him questions, and one of the questions that stood out was, I said, what is your marketing budget? And I asked the question a lot, and people get a little intimidated when you ask them that because they have to invest money, right? And I want to help overcome that reservation of having a marketing budget. I want to overcome that. And I was talking to the student, and I'm like, well, how many leads do you have? And this student said one lead, and I was like, oh wow, that's not a great it's not that's not a great number. One is the worst number in business, right? So our objective today is to get more than one lead. Like sometimes we get that one lead or that one customer, that one prospect, and that's all we're working on. What we want to do is we want to fill our pipeline. And our class today, our objective, this workshop, is to help us get clarity around that. We're going to do some comparing and playing around with Facebook and social media, and we're going to start to get an idea of the kind of business we can generate when we start to put numbers and data towards a marketing budget. So I already asked who can relate. Now, anybody do this. Let's do this. Who in the chat, tell me, who do you think is right? Like, which strategy is right? Type in the chat. I need at least 50% engagement. Like, what strategy you think is right? And there's no right or wrong answer, but I want to know, like, who do you think is right? What strategy is right? Combo of all. Billy, good one. Organic leads is great. Find one that works best for you. Yes, absolutely. The one you would use, Donald, that's my favorite one so far. Exactly. So Donald said the one that you will use, and I didn't even think of that until he said that, right? Because the interesting thing is that from that letter, right, every one of those people are right. It's all correct. You just have to use it. It's all correct. Video marketing, organic, paid, a combination of all. Everything is right. You just have to, Soledad put it in the chat, you just have to be consistent. Like, that's one of our biggest problems. And this is why I like marketing budgets, right? Because marketing helps us be consistent. A budget, right? If I'm going to spend $5 a day, that means I'm advertising every single day, right? Marketing budget helps us be consistent. So I'm calling this marketing math, and we're going to use social media to plan out a marketing budget and a marketing strategy. Before we go there, right, I want to showcase some numbers. I really love numbers. I really love numbers, data, statistics. It helps clarify things, right? So remember when I said earlier that anytime you see this icon, you might want to screenshot this. You might want to screenshot this particular slide. So when I get to like the last point of the slide, you might want to screenshot this. And I pulled these sources. Again, this is a link resource. I pulled these stats from these two websites down here. But these are some stats, right? In the chat, I need at least 50% of you. Tell me, what do you think the average lead conversion rate is by a number? Is it 20%, 30%, 50%. What do you think the average number is? 10, 5, 2. Good guesses. 10%, 7%, 20, 5, 2. So the average conversion rate is between 3 and 5% for real estate leads. This is much higher in other industries. Other industries, it's about 20%, 10%, 15%. But right, we're in real estate, and it's justified because we have larger transactions, but the average conversion rate is 3 to 5%. Right? So how can I have success with 3 to 5% of my leads if I only have one lead, right? If I only have 10 leads, 2 leads, I'm not going to have a lot of success. If I want to heighten my chance for success, I need more leads, right? When we start to get into the numbers, if I do 100, right? So now I have 100 leads and I'm going to convert 3 to 5% of them. Guess what? That's 3 to 5 leads. If I go to 200, that's 6 to 10 leads. So we start doing the math and it starts to make sense, but we need to have some kind of budget. And I wanted to pull these stats together because it helps clarify what we should be aiming for, right? Furthermore, these are stats that I pulled from National Association of Realtors. So what do you think they gave as the average conversion rate for a real estate transaction? Let's guess in the chat box. Is it lower? Is it higher? What do you think? 2%, 6%, lower. 2, higher, higher. So it's lower. It's even lower. And this is directly from National Association of Realtors. They have a lot of data on us realtors and us real estate agents. And they gave the statistic of 0.4. 0.4% for lead conversion to 1.2. So when we start to get clarity around the numbers and things start to make sense, this helps us clarify what we should be doing, right? So the way I think about it is if I want to convert 1.2% or 3% of my leads, I need to have at least 100 leads that I'm working on. 100 leads, right? Some of them will die, some of them will take longer, but I want to have at least 100 leads so I can start to get clarity on what I'm trying to achieve. So these are very low numbers, right? That's why I asked, what's your budget? How many leads are you working on? This is why I ask these questions to agents, because it helps give clarity. And we have to be afraid to stop. We have to stop being afraid to answer the question, like, what's your budget? How many leads do you have? Because it's going to help us build our business. So this is some more marketing math, and this just gives a little more context on what you can achieve with percentage rates, right? So 1% of 200 is 1, right? If you get 100 leads, depending on your skills, right? Some people might be more skilled than qualifying buyers and sellers. Some people might have different networks, right? But on average, this is what you should expect depending on how many leads that you have, right? Based on that generic that math that we went over in the initial slide. So this is to give you some numbers. If you like, a lot of us aren't having success and we're having 1 or 2 leads that we're working, and we should be working a lot more leads than that, right? I attended one of the real estate 101 classes, and I believe, I can't remember the numbers, but I think I heard Curtis say you need to have 20 conversations a day to be having success in the business, right? 20 times 5 is 100. Guess what? That's 1 lead per week. So these numbers really help clarify what we should be aiming for and what we can achieve. And today we're just going to use Facebook to get more clarity on that. So why numbers, data, and statistics matter? If you like, I love numbers, data, and statistics because it helps clarify, right? I'm sure some people got a lot of clarity based on the numbers that we gave here, right? We're running a business. Yes, we are agents, but we are running a real estate business. And we need to start thinking about ourselves as running real estate business versus just agents. And one of the things we need to do for our business is to establish a budget. We need a successful budget. Successful businesses allocate budgets. There's no way around it. The most successful businesses, they have a budget for different things. Next, your budget, right? No matter, your budget should not be $0. If you're serious about this business, let's not have a $0 marketing budget. I don't care if you said $5, right? But don't say zero. Let's develop a budget, because once we have a budget, we can start to understand what we should be aiming for and what we should achieve, right? Now, leads. People always ask, well, what's the average conversion rate? What's the CPC? What's this? What's that? And this is all going to vary depending upon your market. That's why it's important to go in, play around, and test this stuff out yourself, which is what we're going to do today. All right, so how are we doing so far? Are we ready to proceed? Do we need clarity around anything before we proceed? Type in the chat and let me know. I need at least 50% engagement. I see some of you have not been participating, but I need that engagement. Let's type it in the chat. Okay, I appreciate all of you who are participating. Thank you so much. So this is, again, we're calling this marketing math. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to use social media. In this instance, we're going to use Facebook. We're going to use social media and basic math to give us clarity on our marketing, on our business. And you can follow along too if you want. I'm going to try my best to go very slow and diligently so I can explain what you need to do. You're going to need some basic tools. I'm assuming that most of us have this set up. If you don't have this set up, you can check. You can reach out to me on Workplace. I have some videos on how to set some of this stuff up, so you can check with me. But we're going to work under the assumption that we have most of these things set up on Facebook, right? Most of us should have at least a business page for Facebook. So really quickly, what is Facebook? Facebook is a social media platform. They have 2.5 billion monthly users, right? We're running a business. We don't even need to access those 2.5 monthly users. We want one transaction per month, and then we can go do whatever else we want, right? But there's a lot of opportunity there for Facebook. There are a lot of people that have a lot of negative things to say about each form of media out there. And again, going back to what we said before, they all work. The one that works best is the one that you use. So you can ignore everything else and you can go right to Facebook, and you can have tremendous success on Facebook. Facebook owns Instagram. It is we call it social media, but we consider it to be a marketing and advertising platform as well. That's where Facebook makes a bulk of their money, through advertising. Facebook is the largest and the most popular social media platform. It is the easiest platform, right? And it makes it easier for you to compete because of how personable you can be with your content, with your videos. Facebook has done really well is their interest targeting. So you can target people by interest on Facebook, and I'll talk about that a little bit once we get into the live demonstration. Video marketing, we always harp on and emphasize video marketing around here because it's one of those things that helps you stand out from your competition. And again, when we go and we talk about like our video marketing in our video classes, less than 20% of agents are using video content. So that's one of the ways that you stand out and separate yourself from social media. Facebook, they have, so remember, this is a link for anybody that's like, where you get this information from, right? But Facebook has over 50,000 data points on the average user. 50,000 data points. So we can say what we want. Oh, this is shutting down the pixel, right? It all works. And Facebook has a lot of data and information. Peggy, please mute. They have a lot of information around particular users. 50,000 data points, that's a lot. So here's what we're doing. We're getting close to the demonstration, right? Here are some non-Facebook assets that you're going to need, right? You're going to need a website and landing page. So courtesy of EXP here, most of us has this. We have website and landing page. We have that capability, right? So the landing page, today we're going to focus primarily on the landing page. And one of the reasons why you want to have landing and squeeze pages is because that landing / squeeze page, right? It's a lot going on out there in social media. The landing and the squeeze page gives people one objective to follow, right? You don't have them doing a lot. Hey, read about me, read about my blog, go fill out this form, put your name here. It's one objective, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to build a landing and a squeeze page, and we give that customer, that prospect that's interested in our offer, one objective, right? We don't want to send them to our main website. We want to send them to a very specific landing page that gives them a very specific end goal, right? Now, marketing budget. We're going to talk about a marketing budget, and this can vary with each person and it can vary with each market, right? So I don't understand all the markets. I understand the Philadelphia market well enough because this is my market. But someone in California might have to spend more money than somebody in Philadelphia. However, our objective today is to just get clear on some kind of marketing budget that we can put aside and start to market our business and get predictable results. Facebook assets, right? These are the assets that we want to have set up, right? And we're working under the assumption that these things are set up today. At the very minimum, I want you to have a Facebook business page and you should be fine. But the rest of this stuff, the business manager, the ads manager, the pixel, and this document that I have here, you can do that stuff later, right? You can collect the slides at the end and you can follow through some of these tutorials and some of the videos and set your stuff up correctly. But today, the essential that we need is a Facebook business page. All right, so marketing math, we're going to get into the live demonstration. This is what we're going to do. We're going to use social media and we're going to social media and basic math to give us clarity. Are we ready to proceed? Please type in the chat so I can get into Facebook and I can stop talking. We can do some live demonstration. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I appreciate it. I need that engagement. I need it. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to do the live demonstration. And if there's anybody following along and you need me to slow down or something like that, type in the chat and just let me know. All right, so for the most part, I'm trying to give you a fundamental and a mindset around setting up a marketing budget so you can get clarity. And again, bring in some predictable results. We want to be very predictable. We want our marketing to be predictable, and we want to be able to work on numbers and data. That's our objective, numbers and data. So Gloria, I see your question in the chat, and yes, I will tell you how you can get access to the links in the slides. All right, so here we go. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm about to share. What am I going to share? I want to share, I'm going to go over to Facebook, right? And generally, so there's a link. I want to share this link in the chat with you, right? That's a link, Facebook business page. That's the link you're going to want to visit. And different people, like the weird thing about Facebook is the applications are different depending on how you use it. So you may see a different interface than what I'm seeing, but some of these buttons and links should be very similar. They should be very similar to what you're seeing, right? So hit that link, go to whatever comes up. And what we're going to do today is we're just going to kind of create an ad, right? And let me see if I can do it a different way. If I can do it a different way. No, that's not going to work. How can I do this? All right, I have a few Facebook pages. I'm trying to think of the best page to use. Let's just do Jerome Lewis. All right, so this is my business page. It's loading up. It's loading up, and what we're going to do is I want to hit this ad center here, right? So I hit the ad center, and my screen is dark. I like dark mode. It's just better on my eyes. So I'm using dark mode. And generally, when you visit your page, you're going to get this ad center. What we're going to do is, like, I haven't run ads on this page particularly. So for anybody that's just starting out, you should see something very similar to this, right? The stuff that you saw was the advanced ad manager and other different accounts that I have for advertising for different things. But our objective today is to kind of get clarity on our marketing. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to follow the prompts, right? And do what Facebook is suggesting and telling me to do. I'm going to get started with an ad. Your screen should be very similar to this. If it's not exactly like this, it should be very similar, and you should be able to follow along. No. Yes. So this is all right. This is not right. Ads manager. I'm gonna hit the ads manager and I'm going to create a new ad. And there are multiple ways you can do this and come up with this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new ad. This is the advanced ad manager. It's a little bit different than when you typically go into Facebook, but you should get very similar, a very similar interface, and it should allow you to do, let me see. All right, Facebook is giving me a hard time, so bear with me. It's not playing out how I thought it would play out. So pages, I'm going to do it like most people do. I'm going to go over to one of my pages. I'm going to go over to that Jerome Lewis page. And I'm going to, do I want to promote my website? All right, I want to promote a website, right? So that's what I'm going to do. I'll tell you how to get there. We'll find out another way to get there. But essentially, I'm going to say promote my website. I'm going to promote a specific offer to my audience. And the objective here is to just get clarity on our budget, right? So what I'm going to do is, this is my description. Let's just say, come buy a house with me. This is not exactly the advertising I will put, but for now, this is what we're going to do. And I'll put a house in there. I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger for you. All right, so Facebook will walk you through, your screen will look very similar to this. You can see over here, this is like a video. That's an old video. I can change that. I can choose a image on, I can upload a new image. Let's see, choose image. None of these images are relevant. Instagram page.
So you recommend using a video instead of any picture or a carousel?
I do recommend using a video. However, different things will yield different results, right? So you got to test it out. Marketing, you always want to test. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm pulling a post from my page, and it's a post of a house, so it's a little bit relevant, and I'm not going to go through fully with this, but you get the idea. You will replace the image with a picture that's relevant in your market, right? I'm using that image, and you can use multiple. You can select up to 5. For now, we're only going to do 1. I typically like to enable anything automatic on Facebook. There are some things that I don't like to have automatically active, but most cases it's okay for Facebook to take over that automatic processing, right? So I'm going to enable that automatic enhancement, and then here you put in a relevant headline, you put in a relevant description, and then you put in your website. This is where, like, if you have a landing page, so KV Core, if I go over to my KV Core website, I can quickly build a landing page, and I can use that as the website that I'm going to have those users visit, right? These are listings. I'm going to go over to my lead engine, and there are plenty of trainings around KV Core and building a KV Core page, landing page. I'm going to build this one really quick. And so this is my landing page. Now I have a landing page that I just built, right? And remember, when we talked about landing page, you see this page is there is one focus on this page, right? And our objective is not this page today. Our objective is to get clear on our marketing budget, but it's one objective. And remember, I talked about it's nowhere else for them to go. It's only one thing. Hey, one objective, right? That's what we want to do. We want to give people one objective. So I want to take that link and head over to Facebook, and I want to paste it in. That's my landing page. And my preview, this is my preview up here. So you can see it right here. Facebook is giving where these people are going to land once they click on my link. So jeromelewis.exprealty.com. And this is where the budget starts to matter, right? And you don't have to launch this thing, but I want you to come in here and I want you to play around and determine a marketing budget, right? You can see it here. It's telling me my total budget for $5 a day at 7 days, $35. What kind of leads I'm expecting. Okay, estimated reach is unavailable. It's not giving me my estimated reach for some reason. Let me remove that. It's being weird. All right, so I know I moved fast on that, but I have the URL here, and I came down here in the special ad category. This is important. A lot of people get their account shut down or their ads not running because they don't enable a special ad category. But we are in the housing business, so whenever we're offering housing opportunities, we need to enable the housing category. So what I did here was I enabled the housing category. I'm selecting housing. That means we can't necessarily discriminate against age, against gender, and things like that. So we have to give everybody equal opportunity to take us up on our housing opportunity, right? So I'm enabling housing by selecting that, and I'm enabling this special ad category. And while I'm working through all of this, this is where the budget matters. While I'm working through all of this, Facebook is telling me what I can expect based upon my budget, right? So a lot of people are saying, what's your budget? What's your marketing like? What's your cost per lead? And this varies with every single market. It varies with every market. Some people can do 2 zip codes. Some people do 3 zip codes. Some people do an entire city. Some people do an entire suburb, and all of that is going to have an influence and an effect on your budget, right? But this is the way you get it. You go into Facebook, you go to your page, and you want to walk through and go through like you're setting up a ad, and you're going to run this ad, right? Over here, Facebook and generally any social media platform, they're giving you an estimated reach, right? They're letting you know what's going to happen. So based on the criteria so far, my landing page, me enabling a special ad category, and I haven't done anything with this stuff yet, but based on this, right, I can expect 16 to 54 people visiting my website. Right? Now, is that enough? Yes, no, maybe so. We don't know until we test it. But if we go back to our marketing math, right, I kind of want at least 100 leads so I can have one deal is kind of what I'm aiming for, right? And on this advertising, this says link clicks. It doesn't necessarily say leads, and that could be leads or it could be link clicks. But we're going to have people go over to our website when they click on that link, and somehow they're going to get into our CRM. So this 54 link clicks, this 16 to 54, it's not necessarily leads, but it's link clicks, and it's letting me know as a business owner what I can expect based upon the budget that I'm putting into Facebook, right? So every day I'm going to reach 16 through 54 people, right? So if we take it up and we do on the minimum side, I can expect at least 16 times 5. I don't what's the math on that? Anybody good with math? What's 16 times 5? Let's call on the audience. Can somebody help me with that, please? Okay, 80. So thank you, Soledad. So based on a $5 a day budget, right, I should get 80 link clicks at minimum just for $5 a day. I can get 80 clicks, and some of those clicks might go through, some of them may not. The cool thing is you can start to remarket and retarget those people that have visited your website when you get into retargeting and remarketing with Facebook. And you can do it with the other platforms too. But this is marketing. You want to follow up and you want to start to get these numbers into your system, right? So 80 clicks per week equals out to 80 times 4 is, what's that, 320, Soledad? 320 link clicks to my site, right? And of that 320, I don't know how many leads I'll get, but I have a number, right? And let's just say on the safe side of 320, let's just say we get 10% of those people as leads, right? So that's 32. That means I'm trying to get to 100, right? That means I probably need to increase my budget to get to 100. So I need 32 times about 3 or 4, right? So if I do 32 times 3, that's 96. So I want to kind of get 96 leads per month, and I will get more some days, I will get less some days, but that takes me up to 96 based on the budget and the criteria that I'm putting in, right? At $5 a day. I can go even further and play around. Let's see. Housing. We have housing enabled, and you can target people. I I have some interest here. Facebook is pretty decent about suggesting who you should target based on what you type in, so you can find out and you can target people, right? A lot of times we go in and we say who looking to buy a house, and people aren't necessarily looking immediately. But with detail and interest targeting, you can come in here and you can target people that have these specific interests. So right here, these are some interests that I quickly typed in, I believe, on another advertising campaign. These are interests. So Facebook is going to show my ads to people that are visiting these interests or visiting these websites. So Facebook is going to show people that have visited Trulia, that are house hunting, that are looking for starter homes, first time home buyers, etc. Right? And the document that I'm telling you about, this is, I've used this. This is, come on. Here we go. So this is just a document, and I have these interests in here for you. So you can add even more interest and get even more clear on who you want to target. So cash out refinancing, for sale by owner. You can target people with these specific interests directly in Facebook. If we go back over here, you can put all of those interests in here to target people even further, right? I'm gonna close that out, and yeah, I'm just gonna confirm. And now we're going to play around with the budget. So this is the key. This is what everything that we talked about today, this is what it's about, determining the budget, right? So based on the little bit of math that we did, I was like, okay, we were getting 80 leads per week, 80 website clicks per week minimum. That's the minimum. That's not even all of them. So we were getting 80 website clicks per week. That equaled 320. Right? So of the 320, we just said we want to count 10% of those as leads. And that means we would get 32 leads a week based on a month. Wait, my math is off somewhere. My math is off somewhere, but 30, let me say, 80 leads a week, 80 leads a month. And we count, that's 320 for the month. Wait, 80 leads per week is 320 for the month, right? And 320 for the month, we're going to count 10% of those. So that means we get 32 leads based on that budget, right? And it's like, well, 32 is not enough. I want 100. So that means I need to times it by 3, or times it by 2, or times it by 4. For simplicity, I'm going to times it by 5. So 4 times 5 is 20. So if I take my budget up to $20 a day, which is that's a lot, but it start to give us an idea of what we can achieve, right? 20, I do $50 a day. So $20 a day is letting me know what I can achieve with $20 a day. So if I do $20 a day, I'm now getting a minimum of 63 link clicks per day. So that heightens my math, and it starts to let me understand how many people are going to visit my site, and start to get some of them turned into actual leads, right? And you can play around. Like, this is where you want to play around. You're going to do a lot of your math. You're going to play around here and determine what you need, right? So based over here, we're just doing 7 days. Let's just say I wanted to do a 30-day. So I put in 30 days, and I can play with these numbers. Let's take the math down, and we're going to do 30 days. 30 times 5 is 150. So if I do a $150 budget, I can expect 16 to, there we go, that same number, 16 to 54 leads coming to my website every day. And here is where you start to do the math. So just to go through and clarify, I have a budget of, let's just say, I have a $300 budget for the entire month, right? So for the entire month, I have a 300 daily. I want to do 10. Oh, no, I want to do 30 days. And I want to do $10 a day. So I'm going to play with this slider, and I'm going to move it down. So if I have 30 days and I want to do $10 a day budget, this is how many links I can expect. 32 through 100 leads in my market. I can expect this many people to visit my website, right? So if I'm getting daily, that's a lot. Wow, that's nice. If I'm getting 32 link clicks per day, that's 32 times 30, that's 900 minimum. That's 900 minimum, and I can start to do the math. I can really start to get clarity on a budget that I have or a budget that I should be aiming for. Does this help? Does this help anybody? Does anybody need clarity on anything? Type in the chat. Let me know. Helpful. Okay. Perfect. So our objective, right, was, I know we went over a lot, but our objective today is, let's get over, right? We want to really start establishing a marketing budget. We as business professionals, we should not be afraid to throw these numbers out and test and see what's going on, right? So today we just went through, we came right into Facebook, and you can do this with LinkedIn. I guess TikTok has an advertising platform, YouTube, Instagram, YouTube. They all have advertising platforms where you can go in and you can see what you're going to get based upon what you're willing to spend and what you're willing to achieve, right? So based on a 30-day, I'm going to do it based on this ad running for 30 days at $10 a day. I can expect 32 through 100 people to click on my ad. And that is, right, even if they don't go through and fill out your form, right? That is much better than zero, or trying to get people, that one or two leads, into your funnel and get them interested, right? These people that are visiting your website, they're going to come click on your link. Guess what they're interested in? They're interested in buying a house. And then you can remarket and you can retarget those people. And you can do this over and over and over again. Right? And let's just say you don't have $10 a day. Well, maybe you can take it down to $1 a day, and you can still have some practical expectations about what you can achieve with even just a $1 a day budget, right? So $1 a day, I can expect 4 through 17 link clicks, right? 4 through 17 link clicks. So our objective today was it's more mindset. Like, let's get clarity and start to understand how we can run our business. How can we run our business and get some clarity, right? So I'm doing $1 a day. And that means I can get a minimum of 4 link clicks over to my website. And this way I'm not begging certain people for business, or I'm not, hey, I don't know what to do, I'm not getting enough leads. I can really start to get clarity on marketing and start to get some leads into my funnel and into my offer. So that's all I have around marketing and marketing math today. Who has questions, and how can I help clarify something that I talked about today? Type in the chat, please.
I think the biggest takeaway was not using a website, but a landing page. That's genius.
Thank you, Beth Ellen. And we can all, right? The thing about this is we can all go in and we can all try this, right? We get into the business, and I know and I understand, because I run a marketing company myself, and a lot of these businesses, they're charging these amounts where we can't necessarily afford, or we're like, well, what am I going to do? What are you doing for me? What am I going to achieve, right? Well, we get clarity. Even if you do want to work with a marketing business, you can say, hey, look, I went in and I ran some math, and this is what I'm seeing, so tell me why I'm going to be paying this. What should I expect? Tell me what's going on, right? But it's important to, as businesses, we're business owners, we're running a business, to establish a budget, because it helps you get numbers and clarity. And your budget should not be zero. At minimum, maybe $1. Maybe you can do advertising for $1 a day and start to get some leads and some website, some stuff over to your website, right? And you might be in a different market. Maybe $1 doesn't work in California. I don't know. Maybe you got to invest a little bit more, but this is your business. You're going to want to invest. And one of those things you need to invest in, or you should invest in, is a budget. Okay. Any other questions? Anybody need help with anything?
Will we be able to see this over again by any chance?
No. So,
Okay.
so I'll probably, like, maybe I'll do maybe I'll redo something like this. And I want to get more clarity. I understand that I wasn't like the most concise, because this was like a first time and I was like walking through some stuff. So I'll try to like redo it over the next few weeks, and I'll maybe post it to my YouTube page.
Yeah, just because, I mean, this is where I really struggle.
Okay.
And it would be nice to watch it and pause it while I'm doing it on my own page.
Okay, you got it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
understand.
I think that would definitely be helpful. What is your YouTube channel, Jerome? If you don't mind.
Uh, I will post a link in the chat for you.
And also, is it possible to show that Word document again with those hashtags
Yeah,
or
so
whatever?
here's what we'll do with the Word document, right? I am a business professional. I'm a marketer. You can call it, I don't know what we call it, right? But one of the things I want to, and this, the reason why I do this is because I want us as business professionals to start to do the same thing. And I'll
Mm.
call it making an offer, right? So you make an offer, you give somebody if somebody wants something from you, you want to make them give something. You want to exchange value, right? So what I typically do is I make an offer, right? I make an offer, and the people that want the slides to the resources and everything, my offer is you leave me feedback on the presentation that I did, right? That was my initial offer. Now I have a new offer, right? And you have to leave me detailed feedback on the presentation I did, and then I'll send you the slides. So what we're going to do is if you want the slide presentation, you just leave me some detailed feedback, and I want it to be honest. If this was confusing or something like that, you let me know. I'm just trying to improve. Leave me detailed feedback on the presentation, and I will send you over the slides. It has access and tutorial videos and pretty much everything that you kind of need to set up your Facebook. It has all of that stuff available in the slides for you. So all you got to do is leave me some honest, detailed feedback, and I'll send the slides to you. I will post a
Wait,
link to, I'm
no.
posting a link to that now. And then I want to post a link to the YouTube page as well. And if you leave detailed feedback, because a lot of people, they go in and, oh, that was great, or it just give me it without any context. So now I'm starting to need context so I can continue to improve these sessions and these classes for people. So I just post that link. If you want the slides, leave me a detailed, authentic, right? Doesn't have to be positive, doesn't have to be negative. I'm just concerned about it being authentic and real and detailed, and I'll send you the slides. Now the YouTube page, I'm going to copy a link for that, and I'm going to post that in the chat as well. And YouTube, it's a lot of content on YouTube, so you can go to the YouTube, but my best advice is for you to subscribe to the YouTube, of course, but the best way for you to get clarity on this Facebook marketing strategy will be to collect the slides and follow through the slides step by step using those links and those resources in the slides.
So is the Word document in the slides? I'm
Yes.
sorry, I came in
Yeah,
late.
you did ask that, and I know sometimes I get off track. So, in the slides, if I go all the way up to back to that, I want to click. Can you see my screen still?
Yes.
Okay, so in this slide right here, this helpful resource document, that's the link to the slides. So there you have it. In this Word document, again, one of the reasons why I don't just give it out for free is because this is a collection of all of my investment, time, money, everything that I spent. So I need some kind of value back. And but it does have a lot for you to get your business going and off the ground. I have ad copy in there. I have image templates. I have a lot in there, and I typically only give it away for free to EXP agents, and all you got to do is leave me some feedback. So this is years of data and stuff that has worked for me. That document is included for EXP agents only. If you do collect the slides, you get access to some of this stuff. Please don't share it with anybody else, is all I'm asking. Okay. So
the feedback, do you want it on the digital real estate, I'm sorry, on the review?
Yeah, just leave it. Yes. Just leave me a review.
Digital real estate strategy,
Yes.
you want the review on there? Okay.
Yes, the YouTube, the Google link that I sent, I'm going to paste it one more time, and just leave me detailed, honest feedback, and I'll send you over the slides. Okay. We have 6 minutes left. Does anybody need clarity on anything, or can I address any questions?
Well, I wish you could just go over it again. I missed part of it, and I'm struggling with some of it, but that's okay. I'm going to leave you as much feedback as I can.
Thank you, Denise. So here's what we'll do. We have 33 people. I'm open to doing like a workshop, right? So we have that Facebook group, the Social Media Mastermind Facebook group. I'm open to doing a workshop if I can get enough people interested. So join that group, and like I'll run a survey, and if we can get enough people interested, I'll do a workshop, and we can walk through it, and it will be by Zoom, right? I'm very, like, I have criteria, right? It will be by Zoom. It will require you to engage, interact, and talk to me and be on camera. So if you're interested in that, check out the Facebook group. I'll run a survey and get whoever's interested. We can run like a workshop. Maybe it'll probably be on a weekend.
Cool. That's great. Well, I work full time. I need it on a weekend. Thank
Okay.
you.
Yep, you're welcome. Any
Hey,
other
Joe,
questions? Yes.
can you hear me good? Cause
Yeah, I hear you, Levi. You sound like normal, but I can hear you
okay, yeah, my headset ran out of juice.
as usual, right? No,
Yeah,
just
right when well, hey man, I want to leave some feedback right here and right now. I am so glad that I started coming here, every Thursday since April. You and Beth Ellen and Sheila, they've just shrunk this humongous mountain of social media. And this today was definitely, I needed this because I needed to kind of give some clarity of what I need. How much do I need? Because it could be in a bottomless pit. You could just throw money at it.
yeah.
But this gives me a lot of clarity on exactly the numbers that I need to zero in. And thank you. You're so very generous. I appreciate you guys. Really, I do.
Thank you, Levi. I appreciate you, and I always appreciate your feedback. And again, like I said, I just appreciate you so much because you actually take action, and you take action and you show it in your results. So thank you for always speaking up, and thank you for always taking action. That's the key.
Okay, so once we do the feedback on the Google, the digital real estate strategy, do we just send you our email?
Yeah, just message me on Workplace and I'll send it right over to you. I just gotta, end the class, and once I finish that, I'll send it right over to you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. The math part of it really helped.
You're welcome. That's what I wanted to do. I know there was a lot moving. Like I see the comment from Ricky, too much, too fast. But my main objective was to get clarity, or help you get clarity on your stuff. And this stuff can be a little bit difficult to teach when it's multiple people involved. That's why, like, if we do a workshop and we get some audience going for the workshop, hopefully it brings more clarity to more people. But this is a fundamental or a staple that you want to have in your business, so you can understand what you should be trying to do or trying to achieve based on each of these platforms, right? So just putting in those numbers really help give clarity on what you should be trying to achieve, right? Hey, well, look, I don't have $100 right now, but if I go get $100, I can expect this many leads, and vice versa. So any other questions? Ricky, do you want some individualized attention? How could I help you? I see, you aren't the happiest.
No,
What can I do to help?
no, it's there's so much information all at once, and
Why
there's
didn't you
a
slow me
lot of-
down? I told you to slow me down.
because I'm not going to hold up the rest of the room just for me. So if you do a workshop, I'm very interested.
Okay.
And you have so much knowledge and so much information to share that, if it's a dedicated workshop, then that's the place to, I guess, really
Okay.
slow down and ask questions.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So I appreciate that feedback. Thank you, Ricky. And I apologize that it was going so fast. But yeah, we get enough
Well, you
interest.
do have a time block that you have to stick to. So I understand.
Thank you. I appreciate your feedback, and I appreciate you being honest but not negative, So thank you for that, and we will do a workshop and we will get clarity for anybody that's interested on your marketing and having a marketing budget. So I appreciate everybody for being here. We are at 2:59. I'll stay around for another 10 to 15 minutes if anybody has any questions or wants clarity around anything. Any questions?
Another great session, Jerome. Thanks.
Thank you, Donald. Always appreciate
Really good
you.
information.
What was that? I'm sorry, I joined in kind of late. What was that Facebook group again?
I will post a link to it in the chat.
Thank you, appreciate it.
You are welcome.
Hey, Jerome, thanks for giving those valuable information, man.
You're welcome, Frank.
Yeah, one kind of suggestion for you, when you're holding this kind of class, it's kind of good that you walk through live, but again, a lot of time, the tool, the technology that you're getting is kind of like, doesn't work the way that you want it to
Hmm.
be. So I would suggest, if you can just like, go through the presentation that you have, and then take the snapshot into a slide, and you can just walk through on the screen on the slide. It would be helpful, and also cut down the time that you need to look around, to find the
Thank you.
report that working.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And just a little bit, the interesting thing about like this technology and stuff moves so fast that when I take a screenshot and put it in my presentation, it becomes obsolete very fast. Very
I
fast.
know.
So I
I mean,
generally
like it's just before the class you're going in, so you can just like take a screenshot and then just put it right in, and then that way, you help to
thank
cut
you.
down the class time, and
Okay.
then you walk through the thing. Because
Okay.
as an IT project manager, I do a lot
Okay.
of presentation.
Okay.
A lot of times that's what happens. When you do a live, it's not going well. Even though you do a dry run working well, but then when you go on the presentation, thing always happen, and then it just like
Thank
it
you,
doesn't
Frank.
work the way you expected.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I appreciate that. So I will consider that. Anybody else? Any questions or any feedback before we get out of here? See you, Ricky. Bye bye. All right. I don't see any other questions. I appreciate you all for being here. Next week, we are still having class. We are going to do Instagram for real estate, and Paula Aponte is bringing in the lovely, oh man, her name is slipping my mind. What's her name? Loida. So Paula is bringing Loida Vasquez next week, and we're going to talk about how you can use Instagram to generate business. I will see you all next week, and for those of you in the Facebook group, we will come up with a way to turn this into a workshop. Other than that, I appreciate you all for being here, and I'll see you next week.
Hey, Jerome, I had one more thing I was going to ask.
Yes.
Until next week, I don't know. It had to do with Instagram, and I created a reel on my phone, and I was trying to remember how she took that reel and made it into a highlight. I've created 2 highlights, and I wanted to put that reel in one of them, but I just didn't know how to. I can wait till next week if and let her show me. But I was wondering if you knew.
Are you in the Facebook group? You could probably ask there, and she can probably she'll probably make a video for you actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. So I would do that. That's because I can probably figure it out, but Paula is just better at Instagram than I am, so she'll probably do a better job.
Yeah, and I appreciate she probably liked the interaction that
yes.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, Levi, I appreciate you. Denise, I see you typing. You all good?
Sorry, yes. Thank you, Jerome.
You're welcome.
I'm trying to do your survey as well. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you so much.
Okay,
bye-bye.
Mm-hmm.